From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Monday morning. Hope everyone had a fantastic Father's Day weekend. Right now you're taking a live look at Yakima. This view coming courtesy of Bimar. A beautiful sunrise this morning. Winds light for now. That's not going to be the case as we progress throughout the day, especially after 2 p.m. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, so not as mild as some of the mornings we saw just last week. 40s up in the Cascades and 50s in the Blues. Here is your day planner forecast for today for lower elevations. Going to be in the 70s and 80s by the time we get to around lunchtime, and then also 70s and 80s at the peak of daytime heating. Could have some 90s on the map. Will be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for the middle of June. The bottom line for the forecast: we'll have multiple rounds of windy weather for this week, so there will be the potential for fire starts on those days. We're going to cool off throughout the course of this week. Very cool by the time we get to this weekend, at least by this time of the year standards. And not just cooler for the weekend, but also perhaps wetter for the weekend. So I'll show you some of those rain chances coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a car crashing near the Columbia River, and police say alcohol was to blame. The driver now facing charges this morning. We have the details coming up.
Plus, 2 people arrested after a child living with them was found to be among drugs and danger. This as local authorities are sounding the alarm on an increase in drug use among the Tri-Cities.
And before you head out of the door, multiple roads shutting down this week for some repairs. We have what drivers need to know before their morning commute. It's all on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jade Elliott. It is Monday, June 16th. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Father's Day as well.
And it was great weather this past weekend, so we'll have more details on hopefully if that continues from Josh later. But we want to start with new information this morning. A suspected DUI crash sent officers to the banks of the Columbia River late last night.
Yeah, Kennewick Police responding just after 9 o'clock last night to a call in the 2700 block of Paul Parrish Drive. Take a look. When officers arrived, this is what they found: a Chevy Camaro off the road right near the riverbank.
Investigators say the driver, 21-year-old Shannon Norse, was under the influence and was arrested for DUI.
Yeah, fortunately, no serious injuries were reported, but she is now facing those charges.
Now to a crime alert out of Pierce County, where a woman accused in the death of her child has been arrested, and that's thanks to multi-agency efforts. Richland police say 26-year-old Carly Ely was taken into custody in the 1900 block of Jadwin Avenue after a tip came in from Kennewick police. She's now being held in the Benton County Jail on a warrant for first-degree manslaughter. Ely is wanted in connection to the death of her 15-month-old son, who, according to Pierce County officials, died of a fentanyl overdose on March 18th. The case remains under investigation.
And deputies with the Benton County Sheriff's Office responded to a disturbance on East 305 PR Northeast, and what they found led to 2 arrests and a child being taken into protective custody. When deputies arrived, one man was detained for malicious mischief, but while investigating, they learned that a woman had overdosed earlier that morning and had been revived with Narcan. A 7-year-old child was reportedly present during the time. The child's father had also been found unconscious earlier, surrounded by narcotics and drug paraphernalia. Deputies made contact with the 2 adults, both living in the back of a disabled pickup truck with the child. During separate interviews, one admitted that they were both active drug users. Both adults were arrested for child endangerment with a controlled substance, and the child is now in protective custody and was transported to CPS.
And fentanyl continues to be a growing concern in the Tri-Cities.
Yeah, in Kennewick especially, police say that they're seeing it more and more often. According to Kennewick Police, opioid use has been steadily increasing over the last few years, impacting a lot of people in the community struggling with addiction.
But one drug in particular stands out, and that's fentanyl. Officers say it often appears in the form of small blue pills, sometimes rainbow colored, with an M and 30 stamped on them. There's also a powder form that's usually white.
One common place it shows up is at the city parks. That's why KPD has stepped up nighttime patrols in those areas, and they're urging you that if you see anything that looks like fentanyl, don't touch it. Call police immediately.
We do run into this a lot, right? Some people that will drop their narcotics by mistake and leave it in the general public for someone else to come across. So just be very aware if you do see something that matches that type of description. Give us a call immediately and we have a proper way to dispose of that.
KPD says all of their officers carry Narcan just in case they do need to respond to an overdose while they're out in the field.
In Fire Watch News this morning, as Josh has mentioned, the National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning for parts of central Washington, including the Kittitas Valley. The warning is in effect from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. today, and this comes as strong winds combined with very low humidity levels. Also potential wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and relative humidity dropping as low as 15%. These conditions can cause wildfires to ignite and spread rapidly. Officials are urging residents to remember that any open flame could become dangerous very quickly. At this time, outdoor burning is not recommended.
And we are following up on the Liberty Fire in Umatilla County. That's where all evacuations have now been lifted. Residents are back in their homes this morning. Fire crews, though, were able to contain that blaze fairly quickly, but that didn't stop the damage that was left behind. Take a look. Wildfire scorching through a property stacked with several parked buses, many of which were destroyed by the flames. And officials are asking people not to visit the site, citing safety concerns as the area is still hazardous and crews are continuing to work there. Umatilla County Fire District 1 confirming multiple agencies were called in to help, including teams from Boardman, Echo, and Umatilla Tribal Fire. Now, utility crews from Umatilla Electric, Pacific Power, and Bonneville Power were also brought in to repair some damaged power lines and poles. The cause of that fire is still under investigation this morning.
And we are continuing to follow up on a wind-driven fire in the Horseheaven Hills that had firefighters scrambling just last week.
Yeah, but as Dan Hansen shows us, the flames threatened homes, but teamwork and air support made a big difference in fighting this fire.
This helicopter is one of 2 water-dripping aircraft attacking the flames in the Badger Canyon area of the Horseheaven Hills, where another wildfire has crews working around the clock. Multiple agencies on the ground battling an active natural cover fire that sparked near Badger Road and Bridge Private Road. With strong winds pushing flames fast, wildland teams had to move even faster.
We took a significant amount of effort to contain the Weber incident, is what we're calling it. We held it at 391 acres, primarily grass and brush again.
Structure protection units were positioned right away. Homes were threatened, but thanks to fast-acting crews, none were lost. 3 small outbuildings burned, and there was some damage to nearby shops, but all residents are safe. Nichols says crews monitored the fire overnight and are now in the mop-up stages. Firefighters spent part of their morning battling another brush fire off Mills Road. It scorched dozens of acres before crews could get to it. It started as 2 fires, but strong winds helped it grow into one larger burn. Benton County Fire District 1 Deputy Fire Chief Ryan Nichols says the location, away from homes, meant no evacuations were needed. But windy conditions continuing this week, crews are urging the public to stay safe.
If an individual sees something, please say something. The last thing that we want is a fire to start and continue to grow without being reported to the 911 system because an individual assumes that someone else called it in.
Nichols says they originally thought the fire to be 15 acres, but when they got there, they estimated the fire to be around 40 acres. Crews remained on the scene battling the fire, and no word on what caused it. It's still under investigation, and no injuries were reported. This is just the beginning of wildland fire season. Firefighters say if the wind keeps up, summer could be relentless. For now, they're asking everyone to steer clear of the area and let emergency crews work safely. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Dan. Now looking ahead today, drivers in Walla Walla, listen to this before you hit the road for your morning commute, that is.
Yeah, there's a series of street closures and lane shifts that are being set up, and all that work is set to start this week. City crews are going to be carrying out some maintenance and utility work. So starting today, Artesia Avenue will be closed from Wildwood to Hatch Street, along with Kenwood Street from Myra Road to Drumheller. The work is expected to wrap up by Wednesday. Vehicles must be moved off the street before work starts at 7 o'clock this morning.
Chase Street will also be closed today between Maple and Chestnut from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that's for a water service replacement.
And then later this week on Wednesday, expect some lane shifts on Poplar Street from 8th to 9th Avenue. Crews are going to be replacing some water service from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and some outside travel lanes will be closed as well.
And signs and detours will be posted to help keep that traffic moving.
Yeah, but if you do travel through those areas, of course, just plan ahead and give yourself a little extra time.
All right, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the man accused of shooting 2 Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses, killing 2 and wounding 2 others, has been taken into custody, bringing an end to a massive search that put the entire state on edge. Now this morning, details on the arrest and the community's reaction as a memorial begins to grow outside the state capitol. We'll have all those details coming up.
And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Bi-Mart camera in Yakima. Beautiful start to our Monday with that sunrise. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth is going to be with us after the break with your first alert forecast as we make our way into this week. It's 10 minutes after 5.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles right here in America. And now we've lowered MSRP on Rogue and Pathfinder at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on Rogue or Pathfinder.
Online security is, like, as a mom, one of the very highest priorities. There's so many things that we have to watch out for. With Spectrum, I don't have to worry about it. I know when my kids are on their devices, they are protected because I'm not always sitting right next to them. The reliability, the connectivity, the security, everything is kind of all in one. That absolutely makes it worth it to me.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Win and save with Lucky Number Tuesday at Bi-Mart. Just by matching your ending number, you can win Turtle Wax Dash and Glass Detailer. Plus, save with Tuesday-only pricing and buy it for $3.99. Win and save on Lucky Number Tuesday only at Bi-Mart.
Call Vance when you need a friendly, reliable electrician. We'll keep your home safe with electrical services and equipment upgrades. Save $50 on any electrical service. Don't leave it to chance. Call Vance.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Now, get $4,250 total customer cash, plus $2,250 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles right here in America. And now we've lowered MSRP on Rogue and Pathfinder at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on Rogue or Pathfinder.
All across America.
Good morning. Good morning.
Wherever we are, it feels like home.
Man, it's good to be home.
GMA, it's an invitation to come together and brighten your morning.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. As Jessica and Jade were talking about just a few minutes back, a red flag warning in place for the Kittitas Valley and Upper Yakima Valley. That runs from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. And later in the show, we'll show you just how critically dry our vegetation is and also the strong winds that are going to go along with that. Here's your CodeCast for today for the Tri-Cities. Light jacket weather for this morning into the mid-70s as soon as 10 this morning, and then maybe touching 90 at the peak of daytime heating. So for today, for lower elevations, high temperatures spanning from 85 to 90, 91. This is going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies out there, and there will be a little bit of haze on the map. Let's go ahead and put this into motion with Futurecast wildfire smoke. And around lunchtime, that's when this fire on the gorge is going to start to pick up again, at least according to this model. And with winds coming out of the north and west, that could put some haze into Morrow County by 4 p.m. By 8 p.m., some of that in Umatilla County, then eventually getting spread up into Walla Walla County around midnight. Then for Tuesday, it looks like the cycle is going to be the same. So into the afternoon, more smoke coming from this fire. being streamed from northwest to southeast into Morrow County, Umatilla County, and Walla Walla County. What does this amount to? Just some hazy skies. It doesn't really look like we're going to have big time reductions in air quality, but certainly something we're going to be keeping close tabs on. In addition to the wind gusts that we'll have for today, another strong round for Wednesday. I'll tell you how strong some of those winds could be coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. 15 minutes after 5 now in national headlines overnight. Police arrested 57-year-old Vance Bolter for the murder of a top Minnesota lawmaker and her husband, and also for the attempted murder of a state senator and his wife.
And this morning, the community is reacting to the capture of the suspect for the shooting attacks that have put Minnesota on edge. Now, questions are growing about possible motives behind the attack.
Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the very latest on the suspect and the memorial growing outside of the state capitol this morning.
This morning, the manhunt for the suspect wanted in the shooting of 2 Minneapolis lawmakers and their spouses comes to an end. Overnight, police arresting Vance Bolter near his farm in Green Isle, southwest of Minneapolis. Police now calling this the largest manhunt in Minnesota state history. The search lasting nearly 2 days after the shootings happened.
That's 48 hours that law enforcement involved in a complex and dangerous manhunt. Spent Father's Day away from their families to deliver justice for Melissa and Mark Hortman and their children who spent this Father's Day alone.
Bolter is accused of killing former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, and in a separate incident shooting State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. The violence underscoring a troubling trend. Threats to elected officials are on the rise.
It's part of a troubling pattern, a wave of political violence that threatens the very foundation of this republic. And let me be clear, violence has no place in our politics.
Republican Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson have also both condemned the incident and all acts of political violence. ABC News has learned investigators found a vehicle of interest and personal items they believe belong to Bolter, including writings and a list of potential targets they say the suspect left behind, including the names of many Democratic lawmakers and abortion rights advocates, along with addresses. So far, no motive has been released. Nationally, 43% of state lawmakers reported facing threats during their most recent term in office and the preceding campaign. Meanwhile, a makeshift memorial for Hortman and her husband continues to grow outside the state capitol in Minnesota. Visitors leaving flowers, signs, and American flags to honor the lives lost.
And as tensions are high, senators will receive a bipartisan security briefing when they return to work later today.
Yeah, Governor Walz late Sunday also updated the condition of the state senator John Hoffman. Walz said that Hoffman was out of final surgery and was moving towards recovery.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culbreth is going to have your first alert full weather forecast. That's after the break in just a few minutes.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Power through your summer chores with less downtime. And enjoy more playtime with Steel Battery.
At Columbia Basin Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons, your safety is our top priority. We are the only board-certified oral and maxillofacial surgery experts in wisdom tooth removal and dental implant placement in the Tri-Cities. With years of experience and a commitment to excellence, we ensure every patient receives safe, personalized treatment. Ask your dentist to refer you to the Tri-Cities experts in oral surgery, Columbia Basin Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons. We look forward to meeting you.
Most people who have lived through an opioid overdose have something in common. They didn't do it alone. Someone was there when they OD'd. Someone had naloxone. Someone called for help. So, if you use opioids like fentanyl, know who your someone is. Use with them when you can. Have naloxone with you and make sure your someone is ready to help you if you need it, just like you would for them.
Summer's heating up. That means it's time to dive in. Pasco's Memorial Aquatic Park opens Saturday, June 14th. Get signed up for swim lessons, grab your season passes, and don't miss your chance to join the Pasco swim team. Looking to cool off? Open swim runs daily from 1 to 5:45 p.m. So grab the family and come make a splash. It's all happening at the Pasco Memorial Aquatic Park. Your summer fun starts here.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. The wind gust going to be the big story for today. The peak time frame 2 p.m. this afternoon to 2 in the morning on Tuesday. Just keep in mind it could be windy or breezy before then, but that's going to be the peak of the strongest winds. Peak gust up around 50 miles per hour out of the north and west for the Kittitas Valley. Other than that, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies for today, and high temperature is going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. 80s and 90s for lower elevations, 60s up in the Cascades, 60s and 70s up in the Blues. Then for tonight, mostly clear skies, could have some of that haze downwind of the fire by the Dalles, so that could provide some haze again to Morrow, Umatilla, and Walla Walla counties, but other than that, mostly clear skies and overnight lows down into the 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s for the Cascades, and 40s up in the Blues. For tomorrow, we'll have another round of winds. Peak time frame 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. This time not as impressive, but you could consider this a reprieve because for Wednesday we have another round of stronger winds. This time once again out of the north and west around 50 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, south and west for the Tri-Cities 35 miles per hour. That peak time frame 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. And for any one of these days where the winds get above 30-35 miles per hour, we could see some vegetation fires. Of course, that's something we're always tracking with vested interest around this time of the year. High temperature is going to stay about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal through Wednesday. A cold front as we head into Thursday, and then we have additional storm systems that are going to cool us down even more as we head into this weekend. So not just trending cooler, also trending wetter. And at this point, rain looking likely for Saturday, even a few thunderstorms. Sunday is going to be the drier of the 2 days this weekend, but that's still 6-7 days out. We'll have additional time to tweak those details. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. A windy day on Wednesday that'll cool us off into Thursday, then even cooler and slightly wetter into this weekend. In Yakima, near 90 today, but struggling to make it out of the 60s by Saturday. What a switch up. Then in Ellensburg, strong winds today, Wednesday, and Friday. Thankfully, fire fuels could get some relief with rainfall possible this weekend. In Hermiston, also continuing with some stronger winds Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Decent rain chances Saturday, less so Sunday. Then in Walla Walla, 80s through Thursday, mid-70s on Friday. Then maybe dipping into the 60s this weekend with rain likely on Saturday.
Coming up, summer blockbusters are off to a great start with the live-action version of How to Train Your Dragon flying its way to the top of the box office this weekend. Coming up, we'll hear from the cast and the director on their experience turning this animation into real-life success. It's 5:23. We're back after the break.
Expand your access to library services with the Great Rivers Library Partnership. Get a library card at the following participating libraries. Get your Mid-Columbia Libraries card and unlock access to over 350,000 books across 12 locations. High-quality programs like author visits, performers, and special events, and more. Plus, no late fines. Visit a Mid-Columbia Libraries branch near you for more information or visit midcolumbialibraries.org/reciprocal.
For 25 years, you've made Triple Play more than just a place to play. You've turned it into a place where memories are made. We want to thank our amazing guests and community. From birthday parties to company outings and spontaneous weekend adventures, your memories are what make Triple Play special. Here's to 25 years of fun and many more to come. Thank you for being part of our story.
Did you know Astria Health has the only team of neurosurgeons in the Lower Valley? Patients no longer need to travel long distances to receive the spine care they need. Patients with spinal tumors, stenosis, herniated or degenerative disc diseases, spine trauma, fractures, or spinal cord injury can be seen by an Astria neurosurgeon in Prosser, Sunnyside, or Zillah. Ask your primary care provider for a referral to one of our neurosurgeons. Astria Health, exceptional rural health care close to home.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. At my law firm, we have a team that knows big truck wrecks. Big truck insurance companies know that we have the knowledge and experience to get you paid everything you deserve. Call the heavy hitter. When I call the insurance companies, they listen. Hit by a big truck, I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing plus 1.9% and $4,500 bonus cash on a 2024 Ford F-150 STX. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Register today. Register your team for $140. Ends midnight Tuesday, June 24th.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment headlines, the live-action version of 2010's animated hit How to Train Your Dragon has now hit the box office, or over the weekend it did.
Yeah, so let's just say it soared to the top as it made nearly $200 million worldwide.
Douglas Hyde spoke with the cast and director to talk about this summer's newest smash hit.
Like the original 2010 animated version, How to Train Your Dragon tells the story of an unlikely bond between a Viking boy and a dragon. And like the original, it's written and directed by Dean DeBlois, who believes this version will add new dimensions to the story.
I love the idea that our fans have grown up with the franchise, and they might even have families of their own, but certainly presenting it in this new medium with more bells and whistles and a little more depth and mythology, it does open it up to a whole new audience. Hopefully it's a nostalgic hug to those people who loved the animated movies, and it also extends the story to those who might have missed it.
A new young cast takes over roles from the voice actors of the animated trilogy. But one original is back. Gerard Butler returns as Stoic the Vast.
We're all such huge fans of the animated movies, and so to see this person who is an embodiment of the animated movies was absolutely surreal. It's amazing.
Butler found the live-action version a much bigger challenge. Let's face it, running around in a 100-pound Viking costume is exhausting work.
It just took a bit of getting used to, because you're wearing that 10, 12, 13 hours a day. And you're fighting, running upstairs, downstairs, and you're standing around in it. But it definitely really helped me feel and embody that amazing Viking that is Stoic.
The reign of the dragons. That's right here, right now.
In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
The live actions are going next level.
That one looks really good.
I know.
I didn't realize it had come out already. It's on my list to watch because I love the animated ones.
Oh, same. Yeah.
Have you seen it, Josh?
No, but I remember when it first came out, and that was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
It's been a long time.
Where did the time go?
3 movies out, 3 animated movies.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Over the weekend, a Kennewick home went up in flames. What we know about that fire, as that house is now a total loss.
Plus, thousands took to the street all across the country for the No Kings protest, and we have why demonstrators say their message matters now more than ever. All those headlines and more coming up in your next half hour. But first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, new leadership at 23andMe. The company known for its at-home genome testing kits filed for bankruptcy in March, but now its co-founder and former CEO Anne Wojcicki is buying 23andMe through a nonprofit she runs for $305 million. Artificial intelligence startup Scale AI is reportedly losing its biggest customer. Reuters says Google is planning to cut ties with Scale following reports that Meta is taking a 49% stake in the company. Google had reportedly planned to pay Scale AI $200 million this year. Finally, another little helper if you need some sleep. Anchor's new Soundcore Sleep A30 earbuds use active noise cancellation technology to block out unwanted sounds during sleep. Pre-orders start today. They're expected to be available through Amazon in August. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Lionel Moise. Have a great day.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Is that your car?
Yeah. No. No.
Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first, before going through the car wash.
Darn it.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and save when you click or call. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Pain means pause on the things you love, but green means go. Among neck pain sufferers, BioFreeze gel was found to be 2 times more effective than ice. So you can keep on going. BioFreeze. Green means go.
It's time to change the way you think about pads. Meet Always Pocket Flex Foam. Full-size protection in a tiny pack. It's made with foam, not fluff, for up to 0 feel and up to 0 leaks. And it absorbs more. Ready to go where you go. Always Pocket Flex Foam.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good Monday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest, I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
How do we do? I put we into us.
Yeah, us too,
How
right?
do we do?
We got it. Yeah. Yesterday, not yesterday,
Our emotional
Friday.
support really matters.
I mean,
it does.
I think that's what's getting him through this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It does. It's psychological.
It's a team effort.
Yes. So on Friday, went with the forecast high of 84 in Pasco Tri-Cities, a verified at 82. Woo! Jackpot went up to 1150. That's $1,150. And so for today, the stakes are this, going with forecast high of 91 in Pasco Tri-Cities. So if it verifies between 88 to 94, the jackpot's going to hit $1,175. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleynewsnow.com, clicking on the contest page, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Now you're taking a live look at Richland. This view also coming courtesy of the Legends Casino and Hotel. A lot of green out there this morning. There's going to be a lot of sunshine a bit later in the day, but it is going to be breezy/windy out there. Winds fairly light and calm for now. That's not going to be the case specifically after 2 p.m. Right now, temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s up in the Cascades, 40s and 50s up in the Blues. So this would be light jacket weather for the most part. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Going to be into the mid-70s as soon as 10 this morning, around 80 at lunchtime, and then likely hitting 90, 91 degrees in the Tri-Cities. For lower elevations, we're mostly going to span between 85 to 90. This will place us at 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast, and also I'll show you what our vegetation dryness is looking like for today, and that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Hey, Josh, thanks so much. Now on to this morning's fire watch. A Kennewick family escaping a dangerous house fire early Saturday morning. Their home, though, a total loss.
The call came in just before 4 a.m. from the 7100 block of West 6th Avenue. When Kennewick police arrived, the house was fully engulfed, and officers quickly began evacuating the nearby homes, and that was due to the risk of the flames spreading.
The firefighters got to the scene just moments later and fought the intense fire for nearly a half hour before getting it under control. Everyone inside that home was able to get out safely, but it's still unclear if there may have been any injuries.
Crews remained on scene for several hours. The cause is under investigation.
Following up on a silver alert that was issued out of Benton County last week, now this morning, family and friends breathing a sigh of relief after the missing man was found safe. Stephen Wadsworth had been reported missing after he was last seen Wednesday night. Deputies and detectives spent much of Thursday searching near Old Inland Empire Road and West Knox Road. His disappearance raised concerns as Stephen has some underlying medical conditions and requires a walker, which was left behind at his home. Thankfully, authorities have confirmed that Wadsworth has been found and is safe with his family. 5:34 and taking a look at local living. With more people moving to the Tri-Cities and the hot weather kicking in, it might seem tempting to go cool off in one of those local canals.
But Apple Valley News Now's William Albert shows us why officials with the Kennewick Irrigation District are warning people to stay out of the water.
The Kennewick Irrigation District is urging the public to avoid swimming in local canals, saying it's not only irresponsible, but dangerous. The water flowing through the canal system, which supports irrigation for areas like Kennewick, Findlay, and South Richland, comes from the Yakima River. And while it might look refreshing on a hot day, officials say the risks far outweigh any benefits.
According to the Kennewick Irrigation District, canals are not safe to swim in. For one, they are a dangerous drowning hazard, and two, they are frequently treated with chemicals.
It is raw Yakima River water. It's also treated with chemicals, and we treat it with chemicals because we don't want the algae to pile up on the sides. That could clog our filters, that can clog our screens, that can clog your filters.
Berglund says that fast-moving water and low visibility make the canal a serious drowning risk, even for strong swimmers.
They did a study one time where they dropped a shoe in the canal. Within 30 seconds, it was already a quarter mile away. So we want people to be aware of that the water is dark.
He also says it's not just swimmers getting in trouble. Cars are sometimes pulled from the canal after crashing in.
Say at least once a year, a car or two will happen to drive into the canals and get stuck. And that time, usually the authorities come, you have to escort them out, and then obviously tow trucks have to pull the cars out too. It can cause damage to the canals, which will also have to be repaired.
To help spread the word, the district is offering free presentations for schools and other groups, especially aimed at younger audiences.
We offer a presentation that we can do in schools or other programs where we come in and talk about canal safety. We have a fun presentation board about some of the objects that we do find in the canal system.
While the Kennewick Irrigation District understands people want to cool off this summer, they say it shouldn't come at the expense of your safety. In Kennewick, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
Now, if you're looking for safe and fun ways to cool off this summer, just head over to applevalleynewsnow.com where we've got a bunch of things going on. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the Yakima State Fair has some exciting changes on the horizon, and our Monique Ledesma has an in-depth look at those changes that we can expect from a $1 million deal.
And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Legends Casino and Hotel Sky camera at Richland's Columbia Point. Beautiful start to our Monday. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth will be back with your First Alert forecast after the break.
An amazing garden on Fly the Northwest, Tuesday at 6.
Okay, y'all, we got 10 orders coming in.
Starting a business is never easy, but starting at 8 months pregnant, that's a different story. I couldn't slow down.
We were starting a business from the ground up.
People were showing up left and right, and so did our business needs. The Chase e-card made it easy. When you go for something big like this, your kids see that, and they believe they can do the same.
Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase with the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles for you, right here in America. And we're committed to keeping our lineup affordable and free from new tariffs. That's why we've lowered MSRP on our best-selling Rogue and Pathfinder. So you can get the car you want, at the price you want, knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue or Pathfinder.
Did you know Tri-City Lumber Company isn't just for contractors? We're your local source for decking, railing, hardware, and more, open to everyone. For over 30 years, DIYers and homeowners have trusted us for quality materials and expert one-on-one advice. Now, under new ownership, we're making it even easier to shop local and build better. Skip the big box stores. Visit Tri-City Lumber today on Clearwater and Kennewick, or call us at 509-783-3322 today.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business.
With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Now through June 30th, receive rebates up to $4,500 off on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating and Air.
Get a clean you can see with the Maytag Pet Pro Top Load Washer.
Save $800 on this Maytag Top Load Washer Dryer Set on sale at Fred's.
The washer removes 5 times more pet hair with a Pet Pro filter. It also has a deep fill option to soak away your biggest messes.
Save $800 on this Maytag set today. On sale at Fred's.
Fred's is your go-to destination for the best value in laundry sets.
All across America.
Good morning. Good morning.
Wherever we are, it feels like home.
Man, it's good to be home.
GMA, it's an invitation to come together and brighten your morning.
Eric Dane, loved by millions as Dr. McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy. Now, his first television interview since receiving a crushing diagnosis of ALS. Powerful, emotional.
Who was your first call?
Good Morning America, this morning.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on a zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. We start off in Kittitas County, mid-60s up in the Cascades, mid-80s in the Kittitas Valley, touching 90 in Vantage. And yeah, it's going to be windy today in the mountain gaps as peak gusts could be up around 45 miles per hour. That's before 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., they could be up around 50 miles per hour. In the Yakima Valley, peak gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour out of the north and west. Most of us going to be within striking distance of 90 for today, mostly sunny skies. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, I think most of us do break 90, especially in the Tri-Cities. It's also going to be breezy here with winds in general coming out of the west. Then for the Blue Foothills, low 80s for the Morrow County foothills, mid to upper 80s in the foothills of Umatilla and Walla Walla counties, 60s and 70s for the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. And again, it could be a little bit hazy as we head into the afternoon for Morrow County and some of that spreading into Umatilla and Walla Walla counties after the sun sets. Here is today's vegetation dryness forecast. And remember, these values are adjusted for the typical dryness per microclimate. It's going to be critical dryness today in the Cascades and the upper Yakima Basin, for the Kittitas Valley, the Yakima Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, the Blue Foothills, and even elevated dryness for the southern portion of the Cascades, at least for the area that we serve, and also for the Blue Mountains. This, combined with dry air, strong wind gusts, could promote fires to start or spread quickly. I'll talk more about some of those wind gusts coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now in depth this morning, the Yakima State Fair Park is announcing multiple multi-million-dollar projects and renovations to its center for this year.
Yeah, our Monique Ledesma is taking an in-depth look and says that the State Fair Park won't just be well-known this summer for its annual State Fair, but also a new kind of entertainment.
People making their way to the Yakima State Fair Park this year can expect 4 new renovations, one of them being the renovations of its RV campground. CEO and president of the Central Washington State Fair, Kathy Kramer, says with a $2.7 million makeover of the 167-space RV park now comes with new amenities, like 50 amp-hour water, sewer, and a fully renovated ADA-compliant shower and restroom facility, which is currently serving as a nightly rental. Kramer says this isn't the only upgrade people will be able to see at the RV park.
We also announced the $2 million seed grant that we got from the Yakima County Development Association to expand the RV park. That will add over 100 additional spots.
Kramer says with these 2 new upgrades, they'll be able to tap into a new environment.
We're actually going to go after what they're called RV rallies. They are motor coach clubs that get together. They're in essence a convention on wheels, and they travel all over the country looking for spaces like this and accommodate them. So these projects today are very significant, not only from the fairgrounds from a new revenue stream, but more importantly, what they're going to do for our community.
Patricia Byers, the mayor of Yakima, says this is how renovations like these help boost the local economy.
To introduce people to our lovely community, because we have so much going on in Yakima that people aren't even aware of. But if you come for a special event like this, you are spending money. and that is tourist money coming into town, which supports lots of activities, lots of government work, city work, county work.
Another renovation Kramer says will help give back to the State Fair Park's roots.
Senator King and elected officials from District 14 and 15 got us $400,000 from the state capital budget to make much needed roof repairs. It won't repair all of our livestock barns, but we need to make those roof repairs, and they know we're an ag society. We're an ag fair, and those barns are the DNA of the fair.
Lastly, a new kind of entertainment will be making regional waves this summer called Sprint Boat Racing. Dan Morrison, one of this year's Sprint Boat racers with Wicked Racing, says anyone with a need for speed won't want to miss out.
We now have the Talladega of our sport. This track is going to be fast. If anybody wants to see these boats go wide open, this is the track to go to. And of course, with wide open boats goes big crashes and a lot of speed. Adrenaline is the number one thing with our sport. We'll pull 8.5 G's in the corner. This boat will push 700 gallons a second out the pump with the throttle down. And there's, 7, 8 boats at least that can keep with this thing. And it's going to be a race.
The Sprint Boat Racing will take place August 16th through the 17th at the Yakima State Fair Park. Reporting in Yakima, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
A lot going on.
I always love the Yakima State Fair. There's always something fun going on.
Always fun. They always have new, different entertainment coming in. It's great.
So we should go.
Always
together.
fun things too. Always, yes. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have your morning sprint. Everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning, and give you that live look outside from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will be back with your full First Alert forecast after the break. It's 5:45.
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
Hi, I'm Debbie Robertson. I'm just putting on the sales tags for the Nissan Summer Sales event going on right now at Bill Robertson Nissan. We brought in extra inventory just for this event.
New Nissan Rogues under $30,000 with 0% financing for 60 months. Or drive home a new 2025 Nissan Pathfinder at 0% for 60 months starting at $37,499. You can even drive away in a brand new Nissan Versa for under $20,000. So come see us today at Bill and Debbie Robertson Nissan.
What makes New unique? The amazing customer service that we offer to our patients. They know that they're heard, that they're listened to, and we genuinely care about their well-being.
From the second I walked in that office, I felt seen, I felt heard, I didn't feel judged. It just was like, we're a team and we're gonna figure this out.
I had a rare form of breast cancer. Dr. Fedino has just been fantastic. She was really just on my side and helping me, and I'm so relieved and blessed that I went there.
I'm nowhere near diabetic, and I feel amazing. And I lost 55 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off.
She had saved my life because if she hadn't taken just that moment to ask me one extra question, I absolutely would have had an ugly cancer 6 months later.
Go to newuwomensclinic.com to explore the countless ways that wellness meets beauty.
This summer, Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos is heating things up with incredible savings on every piano in our showroom. Take advantage of special bundles on our digital models. Enjoy savings on both new and used options. Get up to $10,000 off on select grand pianos. Enjoy 0% financing for 12 months, and every purchase includes free delivery in Tri-Cities. The hottest part, our 2-day summer sale event happens June 26th and 27th only. Turn up the heat and visit Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos today.
Summer Flowers on Fly the Northwest Tuesday. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. The big story today, the winds, especially in the Kittitas Valley. Peak gusts out of the north and west around 50 miles per hour. The peak time frame today, 2 p.m. to 2 in the morning on Tuesday, but keep in mind it could be breezy or windy before that, but that is going to be the worst of the worst. Otherwise, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies for today, and high temperature is going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal. 80s and 90s for lower elevations, 60s up in the Cascades, and 60s and 70s in the Blues. For tonight, mostly clear skies. Could have some haze downwind of some of those fires near the Dalles, but haze in Morrow County, Umatilla County, Walla Walla County. That is certainly possible. I don't think we're going to see significant reductions to air quality, but something we'll keep tabs on. Otherwise, mostly clear, and overnight low is going to be down into the 40s, really down mostly into the 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s for the Cascades, 40s for the Blues. So not as mild as some of the nights we saw just last week. For Tuesday, we'll have another round of winds, peak gust between 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. At least that's going to be the peak time frame. But these winds not as strong. You could consider this a reprieve because on Wednesday, they're going to ramp back up once again. This peak time frame, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. And again, the Kittitas Valley could see peak gust around 50 miles per hour. Whenever we see wind gusts this strong around this time of the year, we are concerned about fires starting or spreading quickly. So that's something we're going to watch with vested interest. And the wind's picking up because we have a series of storm systems for this week that are going to work to knock down our high temperatures. By the time we get to Saturday, we'll be about 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. Not just trending cooler as we head into the weekend, but also trending wetter, as it's going to be little shower chances for Friday, but Saturday is going to be the big day in terms of rain chances. Even some thunderstorms possible, specifically in the Blues. Sunday, we're going to be drier as opposed to Saturday. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. A windy day on Wednesday that'll cool us off into Thursday, then even cooler and slightly wetter into the weekend. In Yakima, near 90 today, but struggling to make it out of the 60s by Saturday. So that is quite the flip right there. In Ellensburg, strong winds today, Wednesday, and Friday. Thankfully, fire fuels could get some relief with rainfall possible this weekend. In Hermiston, also continuing with some stronger winds Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Decent rain chances Saturday, less so Sunday. Then in Walla Walla, 80s through Thursday, mid-70s on Friday, then maybe dipping into the 60s this weekend with rain likely on Saturday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is 5:51. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour.
And here are the top 5 local things you need to know this morning. Authorities are urging the public to stay alert as drug-related cases and impaired driving incidents continue to rise throughout the region. In Kennewick, just after 9 last night, officers found this Chevy Camaro off the road near the Columbia River. The driver, 21-year-old Shannon Norris, was arrested for DUI. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported.
2 adults have been arrested for child endangerment after deputies found a 7-year-old living in a disabled truck surrounded by drugs and paraphernalia. Authorities say both adults admitted to actively using narcotics and that the child had been exposed to it regularly. The child is now in protective custody and was transported to CPS in Richland.
And all this as authorities are sounding the alarm on fentanyl, which they say is becoming more common in parks and neighborhoods. The potent drug is often disguised as small blue pills or even a white powder, and it can be very deadly even in the smallest amounts.
And over the weekend, around 5,000 people gathered in Kennewick for the No Kings protest, part of a nationwide movement calling attention to immigration enforcement and healthcare concerns. Organizers say the crowd remained peaceful throughout the event.
And a heads up, if you're driving this week, there's some street closures underway across Walla Walla for paving and utility work. Chase Street, Poplar, and portions of Artesia Avenue, as well as Kenwood Street, will be impacted. Be sure to check local detours before heading out.
International headlines this morning: as the conflict between Israel and Iran intensifies, experts say Americans could feel it at the pump. GasBuddy predicts prices could rise more than 30 cents a gallon by July 4th, and that's due to the skyrocketing cost of oil. Some oil infrastructure appears damaged as the two sides exchange strikes. Iran is one of the top oil producers in the world, and experts say gas prices would rise much more if Iran stemmed the flow of oil.
In your business headlines this morning at 5:53, officials are saying hackers have tried to break into the email accounts of some Washington Post journalists. A memo explains the newspaper discovered the targeted attack last Thursday. The paper then reset the login credentials for all employees. The Post is investigating, but says only a limited number of journalists' accounts were breached. It's unclear who is responsible for this hack.
In your health headlines, Vita Warehouse Corporation is voluntarily recalling certain vitamin B12 gummy products. The reason, the potential presence of undeclared peanuts. The company issued an allergy alert for products sold under the brands Welby, Berkeley Jensen, and Vita Globe. And the recall covers one lot of gummy products for the 3 brands. They were distributed at Aldi and BJ's retail stores nationwide and online. No illnesses or allergic reactions have been reported, but anyone with an allergy concern who has bought one of the recalled products is urged to throw it away or return it for a full refund. Also, none of the 3 brands' other products are affected.
In your sports headlines this morning, 5:54, it was a special celebration in Chicago on Saturday to honor the city's native son, Pope Leo XIV. The Pope himself appeared via video from the Vatican City to deliver a message to the tens of thousands of people gathering for an afternoon mass. It was held at Rate Field, home to the Chicago White Sox, which happened to be the Pope's favorite baseball team. Part of the Pope's message was aimed at America's youth. The mass included music, film presentations, in-person testimonials, and prayers. Communion was also offered, and many people in attendance even receiving that right there on the field. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. All right, trending this morning, now is your chance to have a piece of Hollywood history, as more than 400 items belonging to the influential director David Lynch are going up for auction.
Yeah, Lynch, who passed away in January, was known for his unique and surrealistic films and TV shows, including Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks. Personal artifacts, why was that so hard to say? Personal artifacts being auctioned include props, fine art, and memorabilia.
Autographs and artifacts, I think.
Oh yeah, and just my brain.
Yes, and other items from his home will be included, like a vintage Chanel. Okay, I need help with this one. Chanel sofa, a director's chair, and an espresso machine. The live auction for the David Lynch collection is set for June 18th from Julian's Auctions and Turner Classic Movies.
There's some odd things to be auctioned off an espresso machine.
Yeah, I guess unique.
I mean, it was
like
David Lynch's, so.
Yeah, just unique items. Someone will want it.
Well, they aren't necessary. I probably should get in on that since I feel like I need some more caffeine this morning.
Oh yeah, the espresso machine?
Yeah.
We need to take a look at that.
Yeah, we need that here.
Yeah.
All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, more details coming out about the suspect arrested just last night in connection to the shooting of 2 Minnesota lawmakers. That's coming up in your national headlines. We're going to hear reaction to the arrest and also the charges that will follow.
Plus, with the weather warming up, many are hoping to hit the water, but do you know how to do it safely? Well, coming up, our William Albert will have some summer safety tips that you don't want to miss. And Josh, what are you tracking? Hot weather?
Yeah, well, it's going to be very warm for today, that's for sure, but cooling off as we head into the weekend with some rain chances potentially on the way. I'll show you some of those chances coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.